and Chris Rock, Will Smith and Chris Rock have both apologized for the slap. You guys know about the slap. I don't even have to rehash any of that. But we're going to talk about what the media isn't saying about that, and also why both of them were wrong. I think both of their apologies were not on track to what I wanted to see, honestly. But I can understand why they did it. But we're going to break all that down for you. So get comfortable, buckle up your seatbelt. We're going to get started on drboystv.com right now.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones too late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to co-sign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to say hi to everybody. What's going on? Put your hashtag B1 in the chat. Hashtag B1 means that we are Black first. Black first means we put our community at the top of our priority list. Black first means we educate our kids. Black first means we want what's best for our community. And Black first also means that we are going to get ahead of the curve when it comes to things like economics, education, everything in between. If you agree with that philosophy, put a hashtag B1 in the chat, hashtag B and the number 1. That's what we talk about. Now, give me a yes or no. How many of y'all been following, this Chris Rock, Will Smith thing? Give me a yes or no if you have been paying attention. If you haven't, then I don't know what planet you've been on. Also, let me just tell you, it's really been interesting to watch, both of these guys. I don't know Chris and I don't know Will. I'm 1 degree of separation from each of these guys. I know Chris Rock's brother used to call me a lot. And I talked to him a couple of times when we were making a movie in Brooklyn, and he's a nice guy. I just haven't had a chance to talk to him in a while. But also Will Smith's brother, Harry. I talked to Harry extensively for many, many hours, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for the Smith family. Harry is a brilliant, brilliant guy, and we were very relatable. We had a wonderful conversation on multiple occasions, and I think the most of their family. You can see why they're so successful. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to tell you guys why. I'm going to read Will Smith's apology to you. I'm going to read Chris Rock's apology to you, give you a kind of a Dr. Boyce breakdown on that. But then I'm going to tell you why, in my view, the apologies were wrong, but why, in my view, the apologies had to happen. So if it sounds like I'm riding all sides of the fence, it's just because that's how I think. I tend to see all sides of an issue. And like Chris Rock said about OJ, I'm not saying he should have did it, but I understand. So when it comes to their apologies and it comes to the slap, when it comes to Chris's reaction, I'm not saying they should have done it, but I understand. So here's the deal. All right, so both of them apologized, and the apologies came out almost simultaneously. Give me a yes or no if you saw the apologies of Chris Rock and Will Smith. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you saw that. I'm going to quickly read through Will's apology, and then I'm going to read through Chris's apology right quick, and then we'll kind of jump into it. So basically, actually, you know what? I'm going to read Will's because it's in front of me. Chris's, I can summarize it, and I'll try to find it online. But it says here, he says, Will says this. He says, jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in the world of love and kindness. And then he said, violence in all forms is poisonous and destructive. So how many of y'all agree with that statement? How many of y'all feel that violence in all forms, any form of violence anywhere, any type of violence for any reason, no matter what situation, is always bad, always toxic, always poisonous? How many of y'all, I'm talking to intelligent Black people now. I ain't talking to the average runaway Negro. I'm talking to white folks. No disrespect. If you're white, you can listen in, but this is not your conversation. I'm not talking to people from other countries. I'm talking to African Americans, Black people, foundational Black Americans who are intelligent, who live in this country. How many of y'all believe that violence is never, ever, 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 ever necessary in any situation, no matter what? In all forms is toxic and poisonous. Right. The answer is that's silly. That's absolutely silly. all of us have probably imagined or been in a situation where some degree of violence was necessary. My father has had to kill a man because he was trying to hurt an innocent family. My father was a cop for 20-something years. He had to kill a man. He was a soldier. He had to go to war, right? It wasn't his war, but he had to go to war. He's been in situations where if somebody was to try to hurt my sister, violence would be all up in the house. All that so-called toxic masculinity would have been all over the place because he would have got straight to whooping ass, and he wouldn't have been slapping you. He'd have been slapping you with that. He'd have been pistol whipping you on your way down to the ground. So let's get out of that nonsense, right? We got it. The Chris Rock Will Smith thing was interesting to me as a fellow brother because this was two black men about my age going at it. And we followed their careers for many years. It was very disappointing to watch. Kind of almost shocking, right? A lot of us thought it was fake. Maybe, and if you want to know my opinion, whether or not it was staged, I think Will staged it. It was staged by Will. I don't think Chris was in on the joke, right? I think that the joke was on Chris. I don't think Chris was in on it. I wouldn't be surprised if Will said to himself, if he makes one joke about my wife, I'm going to slap his ass on, and I'm going to do it on stage in front of a live camera so everybody can see me because Will is smart. He's strategic. He's not a guy that's just going to flip off the handle and lose it. I think he's a guy who premeditated. It's a premeditated slapping. And I'm not judging whether it's right or wrong. I'm not telling you like, oh, that was stupid or that was evil. I'm just saying that that's what I saw. I saw premeditated ass whooping. Like, if you say one thing about my wife, I'm going to go up on that stage because I'm Will Smith and I can do that. Now, Boyce Watkins runs up on the Oscar stage. I'm going to get tackled when 50 feet away from the – I can't get to the stage. But Will can walk up and they think it's a joke. Like, oh, Will Smith is going out. Oh, this is great for the ratings. Then, wow. Then he goes West Philly on your ass. And everybody's like, what the hell just happened, right? We forget Will is from Philly. Thank you, Maj Toure, for reminding us that Will is from Philly. So Willie from Philly decides that he wanted to handle a situation, but also put on a show, right? He's putting on Will as the ultimate showman. He's very intelligent. Again, I told you, I don't know Will, but I knew his brother Harry, and you could tell the neurons are firing. He's strategic, right? And also, again, wealth comes into play because Will knows he's Will Smith in the sense that he knew that I can get away with this and other people can't. I can go, pay attention now. This is gangster shit. I mean, God bless him for this, right? Can you ever imagine a guy who says, look, I can walk up on stage at the Oscars with all these A-list celebrities behind me. I mean, billionaires, 30, 40 billionaires are in the crowd. The Rock is in the crowd, right? Denzel is in the crowd, right? The Brad Pitt is in the crowd. A-list Hollywood, the who's who in Hollywood. I can walk up on the stage, slap the shit out of the host, not get locked up, and be on stage receiving an award 20 minutes later. Shout out to Will Smith. Let's congratulate you on literally pulling off the greatest feat ever committed by a black man since Barack Obama got all those white people to put him in the White House. That's impressive. Very impressive. Very impressive. Now here's the nuance. Here's the part that I want to dive into a little bit to help us understand it kind of in a different way. Okay. Now, by the way, if I missed something, if something happened today and I missed a little bit, forgive me, just chalking up to daddy-daughter time. I'm on a daddy-daughter trip to Alaska. We went to an ice cave today. It was absolutely beautiful. I'm going to put some pictures of it on my Instagram. My Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. So just check my gram a little bit later. I'm going to show you guys pictures and everything else. But father-daughter time is obviously more important. So I didn't catch everything because I was literally, there was no Wi-Fi, no phone, no nothing. Okay, so forgive me for that. But anyway, okay, so here's the deal. I didn't like the slap. I surveyed you guys. You guys know I'm a statistician. I surveyed you, and 68% of you said you felt that the slap was more Will's fault than it was Chris's, right? I mean, Chris told a joke, but outside of telling the joke, and it wasn't the first one, he's told other jokes, right? We know this. He made that joke in 2016. Ain't no telling what's happened behind the scenes, right? Some people say, it was coming. He was going to get slapped, and somebody was going to slap him at some point, and it happened, right? Okay. So Chris probably even expected at some point somebody's going to slap him, right? He's probably been slapped before. So I think he was kind of, he's used to that, right? But with that said, I think that Will Smith forgot that he was Will Smith. I think that he forgot that there are so many different ways he could handle that he wasn't able to really process the fact that getting slapped has significant consequences. Right? Maybe the financial consequences don't matter to him because he's worth $500 million or whatever. Right? but there's the reputational consequence. How are people going to respond to this? Right? This was two black men going at it, but it was in front of the whole world. It wasn't just black people watching. It wasn't just white people watching. It wasn't just Americans watching. It was people all over the planet watching this, right? That's a reputational effect. Third, you're talking about getting arrested and getting sued, right? So let's just be clear. When I read the apologies, when I was looking at the apologies, now, and you know what, I'm not even going to really, I read Will's apology, Chris's apology. I put it on my Instagram. Feel free to read it there. I don't even want to really go into the nuance of that because I don't want to waste your time. I just want to tell you why I personally, I understand why they apologize. I respect the fact that they did, right? I respect the fact that they're now saying, wait a minute, I'm Will Smith, I'm Chris Rock. I have to set an example. I have to maintain my career. In the background, we've got white people telling us, my God, you've got to fix this, or it's going to mess up the next movie, right? We got $100 million on the line. Like, all of that's happening, right? All this is happening. And if y'all read those statements, you could tell it didn't even sound like it came from them, right? It just didn't, right? So I get why it had to come, because these guys, they work in Hollywood. Hollywood's a weird place full of strange people that many of us do not relate to. But as a black man, what I am going to say also about this apology, though, is that I don't understand why either one of them, if you're really sticking on what you believe, I don't believe an apology is necessary, because both of these guys are incredibly smart. And let me tell you why I think the apologies were wrong. But again, I'm biased because I don't apologize for anything unless I clearly make a blatant mistake. 9 times out of 10, if I say some shit that offends you, it's because I thought about it beforehand. And when I look at Will Smith, I see a guy who's smart enough to know what's probably going to happen if he gets up and walks up on stage and slaps the host at the Oscars. I really can't imagine Will saying, my God, I just lost my mind, or I was on drugs. And he doesn't come off like the type of guy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe somebody can correct me. That's fine. But I don't see that, right? So my thought is this. Look, I've heard the arguments. I've read every single perspective, and all of them are valid, right? That 32% of you that said that it was Chris's fault, I get that, right? You're talking about a guy who chose to make these jokes about Jada Pinkett Smith, who's already going through her situation with alopecia, which is connected to an autoimmune issue, right? So she has an autoimmune issue causing the alopecia. Your hair's falling out in clumps. You're in your 50s. It sucks. You want to be beautiful. And this black man is on stage making fun of you in a way that he never would have done with Meryl Streep. He's talking about you in a way that he never would have done with a white woman. He ain't going to come out. I just can't imagine Chris making jokes like that about any like Angelina Jolie or whoever the famous white people are. The lady that played Katniss and whatever, I can't remember her name, Jennifer something, whatever. I don't keep up with white people like that, to be honest with you. But whatever, right? I don't think Chris would have made that joke about them. I think that familiarity does breed contempt. And I do believe that Chris hides his hostility through comedy, right? I think that he's the guy that'll get pissed off at you and write some really funny, really horrible, demeaning jokes about you. And that's where you're seeing his hostility. It's beyond passive aggressive. It's like comedic aggressive. That should be a terminology, right? That's what I think it is. Now, here's the deal, though. Number one, they're just jokes, and that's the first part, right? I've had people joke about me. When I was getting my dental work done, y'all made fun of me like a mug when it came to my teeth. Like, Dr. Boyce's teeth, he looked like a horse. What's wrong with him, right? And you deal with it. People have made fun of my wife. And yeah, are there times where you want to respond in a certain way? Yeah, absolutely. But that's not always the best way to handle it. And also, remember, when you decide to go out of character like that, and you decide I'm going to just try to go gangster with you, which almost makes Will more of a punchline, because everybody knows Will's not really the thug he's pretending to be. You can't keep up with the ghost of Tupac Shakur. You can't keep up with all these guys that are going to continuously try to punk you because they don't understand the complexities that come with being married to a woman who's had some of her garbage spill out onto the floor, right? They just, people don't get that. So you're always going to be made fun of. Slapping this man does not, in my view, make you look harder or tougher. It kind of makes you look like you're a little bit out of character, right? But with Chris, I never would have apologized for anything, because you don't have to apologize when somebody slaps you because you made a joke. There is an ethic in comedy that says, look, you believe in freedom of speech. If my joke offends you, then that's your problem, not mine. Dave Chappelle stands by every word he says as a comedian. The Jerry Seinfelds, the Richard Pryors, all the great comedians, I've noticed they are on code when it comes to saying, look, we defend the right of a comedian to make jokes. So if 9/11 just happened and you make a joke about 9/11, we're going to support you as a fellow comedian because comedians have freedom of speech. So it's Chris Rock. Again, I'm not saying Chris was right or wrong. You can judge that on your own. I'm saying that if that's what you stand on, then you stand on that. If you are truly committed to your craft, if you're like, I'm a comedian, this is what I do, this is what I said, these jokes. There are three ways I would have considered responding if I were Chris on that stage and I got slapped. Number one, either one, I would probably do the thing I'd want to do, which is I would try to slap you back. I would be hard to just sit there and get hit and then not want to like retaliate. Or two, I would not do anything and be the bigger man and make a joke about it, and then say, hey, guess what? I'm gonna keep joking about you. So you best come ready next time though, because I'm gonna have my security ready to slap your ass if you decide to ever run up on me. But I'm gonna make more jokes about you just to show you that I'm that much more dedicated to my craft than you think. I'm not a punk. You're not gonna back me down. You're not gonna make me you're not gonna make me whimper. I'm not gonna apologize. I thought about the joke. I made it up. I came up with it. I thought the shit was funny. That's your problem if you have an issue with that. Or three, you say, could you call the police and arrest that man over there? Because he came up and he committed assault against me, and I want to make sure he goes to jail. And then I'm getting on the phone with my lawyer, and we're suing you for $50 million, and you can't hide from it because everybody saw what you just did. So those are literally the responses I think Chris could come up with. I think apologizing, I really didn't quite get that. I think if you're going to apologize for making the joke, then the best way to apologize for the joke is to not make the goddamn joke in the first place. Don't get me wrong. Again, I cringe when I hear some of Chris's jokes. He did that whole movie about black women's hair, and a lot of black women felt deeply offended by the movie, and maybe that was going to lead to him getting slapped. But I would just say, look, don't make the joke if you're going to have to apologize for the joke. But once a joke comes out of your mouth, that's your joke. Own it. Hey, I'm not going to make a joke like that again. But I'm not apologizing for anything. You're not knocking me off my stoop at all. I think that's okay to do. I'm not saying that this is the right approach. You can have a different approach. It's okay. But I'm tired of seeing black men always apologizing. We always apologizing. Always apologizing. Now in this case, it's a little bit different. I get it. But Nick Cannon, he apologized how many times did the Jewish people make him apologize? Like 8 times or something. I mean, his name should be changed to Apology Cannon, because it was like a cannon just kaboom shooting out apologies there. I apologize to people he didn't even know. Ma'am, I apologize. Well, what did you do, sir? I don't know, but I'm just apologizing in advance. Like we apologize in our sleep, and that's one of the challenges I have with working around these racist white folks is they always got your black ass apologizing. It's okay to just stand on what you said and stand on what you do. Dave Chappelle didn't apologize. That was one of the biggest things I respected about him was he just said, look, maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I messed up, but I'm not apologizing. You're going to have to get that apology somewhere else because I am a free American too. I can say what I want. I'm going to do that. Right now, let's flip it over to Will. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Please do that. Subscribe. Also go to boycewatkins.com if you want to know more about some of the stuff we got going on. I wrote books and all that. You guys know about that, but we're not here to talk about that. All right. So Will Smith, here's the reason why I didn't like Will's apology either. Will, in my view, everything he did made perfect sense. I wouldn't have done it. It's like the Chris Rock joke when he said, I'm not saying he should have done it, but I understand, right? Like, I'm not saying he should have walked up on stage and slapped Chris Rock on, but I kind of get it. I get it. It's your wife. You want to defend your wife, right? Now, he's not, now mind you, there's a difference between him defending his wife and defending all black women. So those of you who are extrapolating Will's actions to say he was up there defending black women, no, he was defending Jada Pinkett Smith. He wasn't defending you. He wasn't defending your woman. That's your job, right? And if you don't feel defended as a black woman, find a black man if you get with a black man, get with one who's willing to defend you or support you or give you whatever support you need. Right. And so he wasn't defending black women. He was defending Jada. Right. That's just a nuance there. I want to make sure that's clear. But defending your wife makes sense. I totally get it. And remember, Will's one of the few people on this planet who can get away with walking up on stage at the Oscars and slapping the host and not going to jail, not getting sued, and literally getting the host to apologize. That's gangster. And then getting the Oscar 20 minutes later, knowing he's going to get invited next year. That's awesome. That's a huge display of power. I totally get that, right? So you made that choice. You made the decision. You said, hey, if he say this joke one more time, I'm going to slap his ass. And you did it. You're a man of your word. You walked back to the stage, walk like this little kind of George Jefferson kind of walk. Remember George used to walk like, he did that. And I was like, whoa, wow, he meant that, right? And I think that's fine. Okay, you did it. The apology, I don't like that. I don't like that because I think that undermines the intelligence that I believe Will Smith has. I believe Will Smith is a courageous, talented, highly strategic individual. I think he planned that slap like crazy. And why are we backpedaling now? Why are we acting like it was just a random act of undisciplined black male violence? I just lost it. I just had to go slap that motherfucker, man. I just had to kick it up. That's not how these guys operate. These are intelligent, strategic men. Okay, you slapped him. You didn't go to jail. You made him apologize, and they gave you your Oscar. And they probably gonna give you another one. They're probably going to send you a thank you letter for helping the Oscars become more relevant than the Oscars have been in 20 years. Oscars ain't been relevant since Biggie was a baby. Ain't nobody watched Oscars in years, right? So God bless everybody involved. I think, okay, it was a little weird. But you know what might have happened? Maybe a flex on Will Smith's behalf is maybe he changed the rules of the Oscars. Right? Because before we're like, oh my goodness, everybody's clutching their pearls. Like, oh my goodness, you don't run up on stage at the Oscars and slap the host. Well, now you do. Now you got a new set of rules. Now that's allowed if you have that kind of power. Right? Now the Oscars are becoming like the Source Awards. Remember the Source Awards? They were hitting each other in the head with chairs and all that. Somebody's going to outdo him. At some point, someone else is going to outdo him because that was a pure Kanye West move. And to me, one of the interesting, again, this is the point that I don't think media is really picking up on. They're picking up on the facts and the details, but these are the nuances that I see as a black man and as just a person who kind of studies things like wealth and power. I see two black men, particularly one black man, particularly Will, who instigated the process, who have really just changed the rules of what it means to be at the Oscars. Will Smith, he's not a guy that they can just say, oh, well, he's canceled. We're going to cancel him. We're going to ruin his career. He's going to be blackballed. They can't do that to Will Smith. You know why? Because his family's probably worth $400 or $500 million, and he knows that. And from what I've gathered from talking to his brother Harry for hours, who is a finance guy like me, I got a sense that he saved some of that money, and he ain't scared of none of y'all's asses, and God bless him for that. That, to me, is the ultimate flex. Will does not, in my opinion, have to go act like a thug to be a powerful black man. Will Smith is, to me, hats off, man. You did it. You went to LA, you kicked ass, you took names, you controlled that shit. You made a great movie called King Richard about a black man who was hated and seen as a bad person, Richard Williams, and you resurrected his image unlike any other, and you did it. You did that shit. You did it in an amazing way that made me proud. That's it. The apology, maybe the apology is just good for anybody who's watching, any young person who thinks that violence should be your first option. I don't agree. I agree. I like that part. I like the idea. Like honestly, if I could replay that whole scenario, it never would have happened. I would have been like, come on, man, you ain't got to go slap this guy. What are you doing? Right? But since it happened, then let the shit happen. It happened. It's there. It's part of the record. Apologies, to me, in this context, are not necessary, nor are they beneficial to anybody. And I thought it was a bunch of BS. I didn't like it. If I'm Chris, I don't apologize because you slapped me. How am I apologizing to you? What kind of man I look like? You come up and you slap me, you assaulted me, and I'm apologizing to you? No, I'm not apologizing. I'm gonna whoop your ass, get you arrested, or whatever. Or maybe I'll take the high road and move on and tell another joke. Either one of those three things is gonna happen. But apology is not option 4. Option 4 does not exist. Again, Will Smith, defend your wife's honor. That's awesome. Again, the strongest form of a black man is a black man who says, I got a black woman next to me and I love her so much that I will not allow anybody to disrespect her or to tarnish her in any way. That's awesome. That's beautiful. That's inspirational. That's love. So anybody who calls that simping, something's wrong with you, man. You need to go to a therapist so you can figure out why you hate your mother so much that you don't think black women are worth defending with everything you got. But I just think that defending her in a different way, in a more intelligent way, makes sense. And I respect and I honor the women who don't put, as my friend Dr. Maurice Green said the other night, put batteries in the back of a man to make him say, oh, well, baby, if you really want to defend my honor, you got to go whoop his ass. You got to go shoot him. Put a gun out. Paquan, go shoot that mother. Paquan's going to go to jail. He's going to be dead. And that's not going to help the family, right? So maybe being more strategic in terms of how we clap back at people might be a solution. We're not natural thugs, and a 50-year-old thug to me ain't, that's just not going to be the model that's going to create the black power that we need. Will Smith is not Suge Knight, nor should he be trying to emulate Suge Knight. I'd rather see him emulate Warren Buffett. Believe me, you disrespect Warren Buffett's family, he's going to clap back and he's going to slap you in a way that makes you remember that for the rest of your life. But he's not going to run up on stage like a gangster trying to start thugging it out with people. You don't have to do it that way. Okay. So those are my 2 cents. I'm about to go lay down. I'll forget if you want to see some of the pictures. We went to this great ice cave today, and I took some great pictures of it. So if you want to see it, my Instagram is The Real Boyce Watkins. And also, if you could hit the thumbs up button before you go, thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. God bless all of you. I love you. I will see you all soon. Please have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Be good now. Peace.
Here we are, clan the isms, cataclysm great. Our people out here struggling, trying to make it in this state. Everybody out here doing it, but we the ones who late. Now family, we the ones who gotta delegate. Get that money in the power, never be fake. Stick to cosign for 3. What did he say? Create jobs, support our own. Educate the same and buy back your home. Got 3 degrees, triple 10. 3 PhDs, now we on the CNN. DBTV, let's talk about negligence. Ignorance is bliss, but we can turn it to intelligence. Believe none of what you hear, half of what you see. Let's break it down here on Dr. Boyce TV. Here we are.